I wanted to, first of all, hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kendra. So, on my channel, I like to deliver content, tarot readings, spiritual guidance, full moon forecast, energy, whatever, right? And my intention is to deliver them with love. Okay, so let's say that I am, right? So I wanted to pick up from where we left off. Now I don't have the cards in that same particular order. I don't have the cards in that same particular order, but um, excuse me, I do want to continue the reading. So I'm gonna use. Oh, you know what? I do want to use these oracle cards. I'm gonna use the oracles. I really feel like oracle messages are very important during this time. So I want to use, because it's a full moon, right? So we want to get a very clear picture and be divinely guided in what we need to be aware of during this full moon. Okay? So let's get started. Like I said, I'm going to start off with the oracle cards just because that's my preference. That's how I like to read. So I'm going to use oracle cards. Okay? All right. So, spirit guides with the highest white light, please come through and allow me to give a message for those who see this, those who may feel drawn to this, those who need to see this message. I am manifesting that this video reaches those who need to hear this message. Also, I'm asking for protection from anyone who may be sending any negative energy to me, and those who may be watching this video or be spiritually aligned with this message. Okay, so as soon as I split open the deck, let me say something about my oracle cards. So for me, the way I read my oracle cards is I kind of reference them to my tarot cards. So not all of them are referenced to tarot cards, but because there's no tarot card for manifesting. I mean, there is, which is the magician, because it's literally like a picture of somebody putting energy into something, and then in that illustration, that energy is coming right back to them, right? Which is the definition of alchemy, right? So it's alchemizing energy. When you think about alchemy, it's being able to manipulate. It's manipulating energy, right? If you didn't know, Jesus in the Bible is the alchemist, right? So ultimately, Jesus is a spiritual teacher. It's a really great story, the Bible in itself, right? And just the different stories and things that are displayed in it. But alchemy is the essence of being in a situation in a particular energy and being able to use that energy to transform the energy for what you want it to be, right? So when we talk about, so what I'm saying, being able to transform the energy, what I'm saying is that you are able to, so let's just give you, I want to give you like an example, because I kept wanting to use the word instance. So I want to give you an example. An example of alchemy, or an example of alchemy would be to say if I right now don't have a job, right? And instead of saying to myself or internalizing the feelings of not feeling good about the fact that I don't have a job, or not feeling good about the fact that I'm not experiencing something the way that I wish to, even though naturally I should be putting effort into getting or achieving the result that I want, right? But say while I'm in this instance of putting in applications and all that, and I'm not necessarily receiving the energy that I want in return, I still I would choose in my mind, right, to believe that what it is that I'm searching for and looking for and applying energy to will eventually transfer back to me, right? Because I'm going with the intention. So anytime that you are applying for something, right, when we talk about terms of a job, right, anytime that you are putting your energy into something, right, you want to make sure that that energy that you're putting into something is going to give you the energy that you're wanting, right? So you would apply to something that you feel like your skills, you have a skill set for, right? And a lot of times I feel like we put ourselves in a box to say, okay, look, I know that I'm a really good, say for instance, you're a chef and you're like, oh, I'm a good chef. Like I worked at, and say like, let's just say in a small sense, right? You've worked at Applebee's or maybe you have McDonald's, worked at McDonald's or something at some point. And so you kind of just allow yourself to be in this frequency where you only work at that kind of that scale, right? But let's say, for instance, while you were at McDonald's, not only did you cook, but you cleaned and you managed things as well. So now you actually have more of a skill set rather than just a chef. So you should also, that was interesting. Sorry. So, notification popped up on my phone. But now, um, uh, now the skill set that you have gives you're qualified for more, right? So now you're able to say, okay, well, yeah, I was a manager here and I also have this too. Well, now you should want to apply to things that um have a different pay level, a different, you know what I mean, that require you to have a little bit more. And the reason being is because you've done more, right? So don't disregard some of the positions that you may have played in the past. And I really feel like this ties into this energy of where we are now, right? So don't allow the energy, excuse me, don't allow the don't disregard some of the things that you've done in the past, because all of those things come full circle, right? It is the reason why you were a manager here. It's the reason why you were in this position. It's the reason why, right? Because it all brings you full circle, right? So say for instance, if I can give you kind of like a little something about myself, in the past I have worked at different salons, right? So I am, and I'm an active esthetician, but there are other accreditations. I always struggle with that word. There's other licensures that I'm looking to fulfill during within that thing. So master esthetician is the licensed master esthetician is the thing that I am achieving currently, right? And so but I've worked at different places. So, before I did lash extensions, I worked at a lash and nail bar, or excuse me, a lash and brow bar doing clusters, right? But those clusters taught me how to get ready to do extensions. And like, you know what I mean? Then I've been a manager at some places that had nothing to do with doing lashes. But because I have that skill set when I'm around, certain group of people, it now allows me to be more kind of like more I don't want to say goal oriented, but more like I know how to be able to cultivate a group, right? Because of my past experience where I've been a manager, or I worked at different salons and stuff like that, or you worked at different hotels, right? So it's like now that you've gained this experience, the momentum has picked up, right? So it's like, okay, you've acquired this skill set. Now you should be applying that skill set to the future, to your future endeavors, right? So I think this Aries full moon is calling for a redirection, but it's a nice redirection, because it's like, okay, now with this redirection that you have, you should be very confident, right? Because Aries energy is very confident. It's leadership, right? It's being bold. It's, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, go after the things that you truly desire, but go after them with a different type of energy, because now you've learned how to do X, Y, and Z. So now is the time to start incorporating all those things that you learned into, being your best self. So that's just kind of the energy. I just kind of wanted to give a breakdown of that energy of what the Aries full moon is bringing in, and just the energy of it, right, as a whole, and how you can apply the things that you learned from the past, what the current energy is, and then what it's going to be, what it looks like for you in the future sense. Okay. So the Lumeria card is, like I said, it's my manifestation card. It is, it literally says creating heaven on earth. It's happening, right? So that, I mean, that's very obvious. That this is, things are coming together on in your physical world, as far as the things that you've been working towards, the things that you've been hoping for, the things that you've been wanting, right? But like I said, and I said this in my last video, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. You may feel a little impatient. You may also feel a little irritant. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, man, I've been working on this for a really long time. I know I'm this. I know I'm that. I know I can blah, 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 blah. That's cool. But things do take time to manifest. And the reason being is because, like I said, your skills, you think you're going through different phases and you're building this skill set, right? So it's like, as you cooking, like for instance, gumbo, you know what I'm saying? Gumbo, it requires a lot of different ingredients, but you cook them all at different times, right? It all gets added to one pot, but it takes time to kind of mix it all together, put it together so that it becomes this really beautiful thing. Um, so like, you know what I'm saying? Your energy is changing. The things that you want look different, right? Because it's taking time. You've gotten older. Certain situations have happened. So now, where things were maybe translucent for you, now things are a little more solid, right? And I don't know, like when I say translucent, shrimp popped in my mind, because you add shrimp to your gumbo, but it's like one of the last things that you add, and you wouldn't cook it first, because if you don't know about shrimp, it gets hard fast, and then it's like small, so you don't want to add that right away. It's something that you add at the end, right, to make the dish what it is, right? So yeah, just remember to like be patient during this process. You know what I'm saying? You may have been patient for a really long time, but you got to understand that you're cultivating something great. You don't want to rush the process. You may be like, man, where are my manifestations at? I've been praying for something, I've been waiting for something all week. Where is that? You know what I'm saying? So it's coming together. Just be confident. Try not to be irrational, or just get like really, spicy with people during this time. Do things with love, you know what I'm saying? The things that you're really passionate about. Take your time putting your little spin on it, putting your little twist on it. You edit something or you fix something, you're like, man, I don't like how that look, I don't like how that sound, or it needs a little more tweaking. Don't don't even trip. You know what I mean? Like, don't trip. Take your time putting it together, putting the recipe together, because this is your brand, this is your baby. You want it to look, sound, taste, exquisite, right? Okay, so let's get some messages of love, light, and clarity for the collective. Okay, for this Aries moon, messages of love, light, and clarity. Spirit guides of the highest light, please come through. The number 67, 678. But let me tell you something about, I was about to say spiritual numbers, angel numbers, and the number two. I've been saying number two for like 2 weeks, which is all about balance, right? Duality. Um, 678, when you see numbers and sequences like that, that means you are elevating, you moving up. And then what I really like about 678 is that you getting there. You know what I'm saying? 678, once you get to that nine is a really beautiful number when we think about it in the essence of cometicism. Cometicism is like your Egyptian knowledge, right? And so the number nine is a number of completion. You know what I'm saying? And so You're almost there. You've almost completed a task, and that's really beautiful. Okay. All right. So let's get these cards out. I almost wanted to take this one first, and I think I'm going to do it. Yeah, I like this. This is really beautiful. There's some really beautiful energy here. Akasha is our very first card out here. So Akasha is you are being divinely guided. Akasha also gives me this energy of the Akashic records, right? And like I said, that Cometicism mythology energy is here, right? So your guidance is being divinely guided. You're walking away from the way you used to do things. You may be cutting people off. Your communication may be slacking for some people that may feel like, oh, you're being very short or being really hasty with me. But it's like, no, my time is just limited when it comes to engagement. And this is the thing is that as you are elevating, you're ascending, and if people are not where you are, you're not going to tolerate certain things that are not a vibrational match for you, and that's really beautiful. Okay, so that's that Akasha. Akashic records are it's like the book of life, right? So it's your life is still going, right? I'm trying to relate this to this card, but the records is like, okay, you are writing your story in a sense, right? And then we have this protection card, right? So that just kind of goes hand in hand in what I was saying. The card says, call back your power, cut cords, soul retrieval. You may want to do some cord cutting. I don't know if what your spiritual practice is. Everybody's spiritual practices are different. Okay. Everybody's spiritual practices are different in what they do, what they don't do, whatever. It's up to you, right? Um, but cutting cords, when you practice spirituality, you don't necessarily have to sit with um, certain tools. You don't. Some people like to use the tools. It makes them feel all witchy and stuff like that. But you don't have to. You could literally sit in a meditative state and just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? You could just be like, shit, I want to just smoke a blunt, sit there and chill, and I'm gonna think about, you know what I'm saying? I want to think about the things that I want to do, and that's going to put me in this energy of where I'm going to go and how I'm going to do it, right? So, for instance, you may not be, like I said, you may not be the type of person who actually gets your candles and your whatever, whatever, whatever. You can literally just sit and think about the things that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's a really beautiful thing, because when you're in a meditative state of really thinking about, okay, what do I need to do for myself? It's going to start sparking the change agent, if you will. So it's going to start sparking that energy for you to change what it is that you're doing, and just when I say change, like take action towards the things that you feel like you need to cultivate for yourself. When we say cultivate, that's bringing in energy to, like, you know what I'm saying, changing that energy, right? We also have this say yes, right? Yes. Yes, if you're wondering, am I divinely protected? Do I have answers? Do I have spirit guides? Do I have yes, yes. I feel like this is for my people who have been channeling and they want to know, are my guides really talking to me? The answer is yes. Okay. We also have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe, right? So this is letting you know that this is something that's happening collectively. This is a shift that is happening collectively. You are being divinely guided. You are getting those intuitive nudges and insights and things. And I really feel like for some of you, this is just your spirit guides that are connecting with you, right? So then we talk about ancestor veneration. If you're not familiar with the terminology, ancestor veneration is basically how your ancestors and your guides communicate with you, okay? Now, like I said, some people like to sit at an altar. Some people use different tools to communicate with their guides. Not everyone, right? Everybody is different when it comes to your ancestors and your guides communicating with you. It will be different. You can ask for different confirmations and then notice, like just like when you're praying, right? So a lot of times when people pray, they pray, oh my God, God, Jesus, however you pray. You may just, we pray all the time, but a lot of times people don't ask for confirmation. Ask for confirmation and you're not listening. So, um, ask for confirmation. Also listen. You know what I'm saying? If you're just praying and you're just speaking, but you're not listening, then you can't be in connection with the Most High, with the divine realm. So you need to start asking, and then I start asking for confirmation, and then listen for that confirmation. You also need to be open to this type of communication and this energy. And the way that you can be open and connected is by limiting your activity around things that lower your vibration. For instance, hanging around people who are not trying to elevate, who are not going in the same direction that you are. Right? So that's very, very important. Okay. Give me just 1 second because I wanted to go live on Facebook as well. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to be live on both. So I'm like, I need to post this. Okay, so hey Facebook, if you're just now tuning in, I'm also live on my YouTube channel, and we are talking about the Aries full moon, the energies, and then right now what I'm speaking on is ancestor veneration and how you can connect with the spiritual realm. And so what I was just explaining is that a lot of times when people pray, they are just praying and they're just talking to spirit, right? But they are not allowing themselves to be in full divine connection because they are not listening, right? So, when you pray, you also need to listen, and that is the way that you get in connection with the Most High. That's the way that you get in connection with your guides. So it is very important to listen, and by doing that, you could pray for something and then ask for confirmation, right? So once you ask for confirmation, you may notice um, you may notice how things open up for you more. Like when I say open up for you more, that you may notice that a lot of things that you start thinking and speaking, you start seeing them in the physical world. That's how you know that your guides are attempting to communicate with you, right? Um, it was something else that I wanted to say. Because while I was reading these oracle cards here, um, damn, what is it? I was talking about ancestor veneration, and then I was talking about something else about communicating with your guides, asking them for confirmation. Your vibe, like you cannot be around people who are not moving in the same direction that you are. So when you want your guides to communicate with you, you want the spiritual realm, the divine realm, the Most High God, however that resonates for you, right? You can't be in a low vibration. And what I mean is not you feeling like, oh, I'm sad, right? Because you could just be having an off day. Your energy is low, but you can't be around people like your partner and them who really on the cool. You know these people don't like you, but you keep hanging around these people anyways. Like your guys are like they want to come through, but they're like, okay, you got to get some of that fluff up out the way, right? You got to like really be wanting to open up your heart and really kind of like, okay, hey, I want to get in connection with my guys. I want to know what my purpose is. I want to know which direction I need to go in, which direction I need to go in, right? So it's like you have to get certain things out of your way. When you start your spiritual journey, the Most High gonna put you in isolation, like for real, for real. So, um, you may just, I don't know, for I would say for some of you, but mostly like you'll find yourself in isolation because you'll be like, you just don't find interest in things that other people are interested in anymore. You know what I'm saying? So you start pulling away because you just not at that frequency no more. You don't operate at that same vibration that those people do, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? So like, just be open. That's all I gotta say. Be open. Yes, the great gathering. Things are coming together. Yes, you're being divinely guided. Yes, your intuition is on point. It's on. You just need to continue to trust the process. You know what I'm saying? Awakening. All right, awakening. Um, Energetic upgrades. As you keep ascending and you keep going through these moon cycles and these different phases, you are like, you keep having spiritual awakenings. Like your spiritual awakening and just don't start and then stop. Excuse me. It keeps going. At first you find yourself looking into this and then you looking, you know what I'm saying? It never, I can't even tell you, like, I done had so many spiritual awakenings. Like it don't ever stop. Like it starts with one thing and then it just keeps going. You find yourself going through different tests and different levels, and different cycles. Like the moon is always a cycle for you. You know what I'm saying? The moon is always a cycle, and you'll have moments where you reflect, and you'll be like, "Dang, I remember when it first started." Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it changes, and it's beautiful because I think a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves during this spiritual process or whatever like that, right? But everybody's stuff is different. Like I don't the like my spiritual stuff is different. I don't have an Ifa. I don't, you know what I mean? I respect the Ifas and the Oshun, Ogun. I respect it, right? I just, that's not something that I practice. You know what I'm saying? I like tarot cards and like I like to. I'm a researcher, so I'm more like I don't even know. I really don't know because I don't know. Like every once in a while, I feel called to work on my crystals or something like that, but I don't really like practice. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just different for me. It's different for everybody because, like I said, you may feel called to go and get an Ifa. You may and to seek out a Babalao. I think I'm saying that correctly. Um, but it's just going to be different for everybody. Um, but anyways, yeah. So there's a new awakening. There's a new arrival of energy here on the physical world, and so be open. Be patient. And it's this full moon is in Aries. Aries are not patient, but they're confident and they're purposeful with passion, right? So it's like, you know what I'm saying, if you're really passionate about something, you're really dedicated to it, make sure that you are going full out, right? But also, like I said, take your time. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not you. You know, you may feel very impatient and feeling very triggered by things, right? And so the other part of spirituality is not only are we manifesting, blah 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 blah, but you're also healing, right? So you are your own psychiatrist in a sense. You may find people online that you connect with on a spiritual sense, like, yeah, man, I experienced that too, or man, you know what I'm saying? That's what's happening for me right now. And so that's the way you can kind of connect, but you will find certain things that trigger you, right? And some of it stems from your childhood, things stem from your parents, things stem from when you were a teenager, right? So it's a process of figuring out, you know what I'm saying, things that you don't like, and kind of uncovering or peeling back layers of things and being like, okay, you know, I really want to work on this. You know what I'm saying? The best thing I can tell you when you're going through this process and through these cycles, if you're new to spirituality, or you're trying to figure out what the heck it is or what does it mean, or I'm having a spiritual awakening, is be kind to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like your mental, this, you have no idea how powerful you are. You know what I'm saying? You really don't understand how powerful you really truly are. Like you can have anything that you really want, you can desire. I mean, anything you desire, you can manifest it just like this. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is truly a magnet. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you speak about, you can have it in the physical realm. It's all about it's all about undoing the subconscious mind, your subconscious mind that tells you that you can't have this because your mama and them was like this, you was raised like this, you grew up like all of that stuff. You have to undo all of that negative self-talk. And I feel like one of the best ways to do it is to get in front of a mirror. You get in front of a mirror and you start telling yourself, you know what I'm saying? You I am affirmations are so powerful. They really are. I am great. I am loved. And especially tell yourself that you love yourself. Like, do you just sit up there and tell you, be like, man, I love you? I'll tell Kendra, I'll be like, I love you, Kendra. I do. Because as adults, you don't, ain't nobody coddling you. Ain't nobody sitting up here being like, hey, did you have a good day today? Ain't nobody doing that. You know, you do that with kids. Did you have a good day today? What did you learn? Oh, really? That's awesome. But as an adult, nobody's sitting up here like, well, oh, you did? You did? Oh, that's how, ain't nobody doing that. So you have to do that for yourself. Like you really do. You have to pour into yourself. And so back to what I was saying, I can be really long winded, but as I was saying, be kind to yourself because you will beat yourself up, and that's fine. It's perfect. You know why? It's because you understand you got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. Like when you real with yourself and you're like, you know, I could tighten up on this. That's beautiful because then you're giving yourself room to grow. You know what I'm saying? But make sure that you are pouring into yourself. Make sure that you take time and pull yourself away from things that are distractions or dysfunctional. And it's gonna be hard because a lot of society do what they see everybody else do. It's the sheep being led to slaughter, like for real. You know what I'm saying? That's why people say awakening, you being woke. Because you realizing like mentally people are being subconsciously programmed to do what everybody's doing. If you see the Migos, Cardi B, um John Cena, just whoever, and you see this up and down your news feed, when you see it in the store, you're gonna be like, I'm finna go get me some Aquafina. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's because we are being fed constant information all day long. That's why when you say something, you chilling with your people, you say something, do you see it on your feed when you get on social media? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what's happening. We are being constantly programmed. So a spiritual awakening is literally an undoing of all of that programming, right? The reason why it's so occult like or so different is because you're not marching to the beat of the drum of everybody else. Everybody going this way, boom, 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 boom. Here you are, going a whole nother way. People like, what are you doing over there? Like, not doing what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? It's very different, but it's very profound, and it's it should make you feel good that you are willing to be different, that your mental, like your brain wants you to research things and you want to know why, because people don't ever ask why. And I think the reason why people don't ask why is because, for one, you're constantly being fed all this information of do this, do this, do this, do that, do that, do that. And then as a race of people, just a race of people, humans, you have Christianity that says, don't do this. This is bad for you. If you do this, you're going to hell. Blah, 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 blah. But why? Nobody ever asks why. right? And then that's taboo. People are like, you don't question. But why wouldn't you sit up there if you're trying to have a connection with the Most High God? Why wouldn't you be sitting up there and be trying to ask questions? Because I know when I first started my spiritual journey, I'm like, okay. So I found tarot, but I've always was told that it's bad. Why? Why? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I encourage you to ask questions, research, ask why. Like why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Shit. Then the last card that I have here is take a break, right? A life's work's not a season. Get off the treadmill. Um Fuck. I can't have that again. I don't even know where it went. But it's like taking a break, you know? It's like sometimes it could mean a few different things for different people, right? When we're talking about energy is going to be so different for everybody, right? But it's like, sometimes you just got to sit back and chill, be patient, trust the process, you know? Bask in the energy of it all. And I think as a society, that's really hard for us because everybody's like, I'm grinding, I'm out here hustling, I'm out here getting like, oh, okay. Go you. You know, it's okay to, when you waiting on your, if you've been putting effort into something, it's cool when you sit back and you detach, right? Because the law of detachment from things is how you get your manifestations. So you just gotta know that you gonna have it, right? It's like you gotta know, like, anything that I want, I can have, you know? And it's just a matter of time, right? And for everybody, it's gonna be different, you know? I know I'm a Scorpio, so for us, we don't get, as a Scorpio, you don't get great until you're like damn near 40. I'm like, how long is this shit gonna take? Man, when you're 37, you'll be like a millionaire. Shit, goddamn. But have fun in the process, right? Like, um, it's just different for everybody. Um, and your zodiac sign actually is really um, very relative to your life cycle. If you don't have a birth, if you haven't looked up your birth chart, I suggest that you should, because you'll be like, oh, that's me to the T, which is the reason why people like zodiac so much. But then they're like, oh, that's not Christian like. Yeah, but it's literally who you are and what your life is gonna be like. So I just encourage people to ask questions and ask why, because why not? Yeah, so damn, I feel like I don't know, these are just oracle cards, and I said I was gonna do a whole reading, but I feel like I really broke down a lot of things. And I think really what I want to do more is just kind of teach people the things that I've learned in my spiritual journey and stuff, because I looked up a lot of stuff. Like I did a whole lot of research while I was on my spiritual journey, so I didn't just, you know what I'm saying? Like I I looked up a lot of different stuff. I stayed googling things up to 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, oh my god, like, did you know? And then sometimes you don't really have people to talk to about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said like social media will be your best friend, because it's like, shit, the people that are woke like you don't, they not by you. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, where my spiritual friends at? Gang them, you know? It's like you I don't know. You'll get there. Like now I have like one of my oldest friends. We've been friends since we were hella young, 4 and 5. She's tapped in like me, so we talk, you know. So it's really dope to be able to have that experience now. But when I first started my spiritual journey like 3 years ago, I was like, I'm weird. Everybody's like, oh my god, what are you doing? And I'm like, waking up, right? Like, yeah. But yeah, so Just be patient with the process. Be confident in what you're doing right now. This Aries, I love when we have moons in Aries energy. It's very innocent. You know what I mean? It's very, trying to figure things out. But it's this confidence and it's this boost of confidence that is going to really kind of spark the ingenuity in you to be really bold and be confident in things that you truly want and what you desire, which is so dope. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah. I think that's where I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna do some readings. Yes, I am gonna end this actually because I'm gonna do some readings. That's what I need to do. I need to do some readings. I need to do some readings. So I'm gonna get some readings out for the rest of the signs, and I'll probably tap in with y'all either tonight, like at 11 o'clock, because that's when I get some good traffic and I get people on my live, and it'll be way more people and shit. And I ask questions. I answer questions that you guys may have. So, yeah. Or I pull cards for people who have questions. Like, yeah, can you pull a card? Yeah, I got you. But yeah. So that's gonna be the end of this live. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all on Facebook and YouTube. I almost said Instagram. But yeah. So it's been real. Y'all be well. Namaste.